Do you have siblings? Do you ever feel like you are the one and only responsible one? That's what we got in the letter today.
They're crazy and insane. My crazy family.
Sometimes it doesn't even take siblings. I think sometimes, even if you're an only, sometimes you can be like, I'm the only responsible one of this bunch, and I'm the youngest. If you have a crazy family story, we'd love to hear it. You can write in at crazyfampod.com or call 833-CRAY-FAM, 833-272-9326. And if you're liking this and you want to just binge all these stories with no ads, then all you got to do is go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe there. Get access to everything ad-free when you become a premium subscriber. Even try it for 3 days free. So, yeah, what have we got going on here, Stacey?
Oh, this is a good one. And, you know, we hear this a lot about family groups, the eldest of the siblings. This story says, I've struggled emotionally growing up dealing with my own trauma, and I'm finally at a good place. However, my younger brothers have failed to adapt to life as adults. This is what we hear all the time. My brother, 25, is in and out of prison. My other brother, who is 20, has no real goals and does the bare minimum and smokes weed all day. Teenage brother is heading in that direction as well. He ran away from home and would not come home for 2 months. I, the 28-year-old female, joined the military to get away from all this chaos and make a life for myself. I am stationed a state over and went home about 2 months ago and made it my goal to find my brother and bring him home with me. Well, it's been 2 months and he is driving me insane. My well-being is being affected as I'm always stressing out over him. Emotionally, I am exhausted and he is destroying my apartment with his temper tantrums and I can't seem to get through to him. I didn't know what I signed up for as we've always had an amazing relationship and I practically helped raise him. I don't recognize him, and I'm finally giving up. I guess I just needed to vent, and I'd love to have other people's input into the similar situations. I feel guilty, but I know I shouldn't, as it's not my responsibility, and I'm literally trying my best. I feel so heartbroken.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is, but you are all adults, and everyone is responsible for themselves. I always take kind of a fairly cold approach to this. I don't have any siblings, so this is not one I guess I can easily relate to and say, you know, here's how I would handle it in that situation. But I mean, you have siblings. You know, if you were in this person's shoes, and I mean, there's being 25 and 28 and how you would react then, and there's being in a, you know, much older now and, you know, maybe not reacting the same way you would have at 25 or 28, with more perspective in life. How would you have handled it at that age?
You know, boy, so 28, you know, you're at this point where you're an adult, you're just starting to figure out how you function, your way of the world, and you want to be part of the family unit, but you want to be separate. It's a really 25 to 30 is really a volatile time, I think. I totally get her wanting to, first of all, she's the firstborn and she's female. Maybe she's taken on the mothering role. It sounds like she has. She raised her younger brother. She really wants her family to be a certain way, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And they're just fucking not. They're just not.
Yeah.
And I think at some point she's going to have to just sit back and go, you know what? These monkeys, they're not my circus. You guys go do your thing. You smoke your weed all day. You go in and out of prison. You go run away. I'm in the military. I'm going to make a future for myself. You guys go do whatever the fuck you need to do.
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of deals with things differently, and it sounds like everyone had trauma growing up in this household. But at the same point, you don't have to continue to perpetuate that by allowing it to go on in yours. And there's, you know, a lot. It's amazing sometimes when you see families that come out of households like that, and you have, you know, one sibling that's amazing and has their shit together. And it's you'd think they came from the most, you know, inline household and parents who had it together. And it's like, holy shit, they're like the biggest fuck ups you've ever seen, the parents. And then you see some of the siblings and they're giant fuck ups as well. And it's like, wow. But it shows you can make a choice. Sometimes it's out of necessity and survival. But everybody does have the ability to make their own choice as they get to be adults. Some will make good choices and get their shit together, and some will end up, falling into a pit and dying. But
I've got a sibling that I've got two brothers. I have an older brother who has worked really, really hard and finally crawled his way up the corporate ladder. It took him a long time. And then another brother who has made some really bad choices. He was an amazing entrepreneur, but then got sucked into some illegal activity and just really kind of fucked up. And there's nothing you can do to help these people. And you want to, your family, you feel like you should, but ultimately they were adults when they made the decisions. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's just nothing.
And people change. And sometimes you get stuck on like the memories of, well, this was great, or that was great, or we went through this really rough thing together. But then there's the romanticizing of this thing where it's like, this is the family I want to have, or maybe they'll be this someday. No, they won't.
No, they won't unless they make an active decision to change. My middle brother and I had an amazing relationship. We were like best buds. We did everything together. I haven't talked to him in probably 15 years. He just went down the wrong path, and I don't trust him a lot of times. I don't trust that what he's telling me is the truth. So yeah, I would love to have my brother back that I grew up with, but that's a Hallmark movie is what that, generalizing is. I want that perfect family, but it doesn't exist. And sometimes I really curse out the Hallmark Channel. Fuck you for making life look so easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Family members suck. They don't all suck, but not all families are great. We don't all sit down at the table and have a great meal and, oh, I love you. No, we fucking fight with each other. We say horrible things to each other. We have this idea of what we want family to be. And I think what we need to do is just go, well, that's not going to happen. Here's what I have, and I need to be happy with it.
People don't necessarily accept what their family is. It's very much what they want it to be. And then they operate on the terms of what they want it to be, not what it actually is. And that goes back. It goes back to anything, just dealing with reality on reality's terms. The quicker everyone can get that through their head, the happier the world will be. But we like to think we can change things in certain ways that you can't, and you won't. And you may want to. You may have the best of intentions. It's wonderful that you have emotions and you want to help your loved ones, your family. That's great. But you can't do it at the expense of ruining your own life.
Well, especially she's in the military. She's 28. She could have a very decorated career in the military, but she better watch out. She has a 25-year-old brother who's in and out of prison. She has a 20-year-old brother who smokes weed all day. Who knows if that's in a state where that's legal?
Yeah.
She could have her career destroyed because of her brothers getting her inadvertently involved in something that's going to bring her down.
Oh, yeah. Especially a brother in and out of prison, 25. And if he's, living there, guess what? Your home is probably a crime scene in one way, shape, or form.
Right,
for
exactly.
some form of illegal activity.
You got to protect your own interests at this point.
Yeah, you really do, and it's a hard thing to do. And some of families, everything. I mean, not if they're assholes and shitty people. I'm sorry, it's not. It's just not. I don't. And not every. I guess every life is one that is worth, throwing yours out on the railroad track for to save or try and fix. People will do their own things. And it's not up to you to have to fix all that, because a lot of times you just can't. So don't try. You've clearly given all you can. You've been a very good eldest sibling. You've helped your siblings rise up through a lot of shit, but now it's time for them to fly as best as they can. But you're not the nest for them.
Mm-mm.
So,
Nope. And you know what? You've done your part. You've done everything that you possibly could. Kudos to you. It was probably too much. Go live your life.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you got a crazy family story, let us know, 833-272-9326. Or you can write in at crazyfampod.com. We'd love to hear your story and talk about it on a future episode of the show. You want to listen to all of our stories ad-free? Just binge away day after day after day. Go to Apple Podcasts and sign up there and get access to everything commercial-free right now. All right? Go check that out. And you'll be happy you did.
They're crazy and insane. My crazy family.